Good morning, welcome to this, your daily briefing. My beard's getting whiter by the day, Daniel, just a thought. We're looking at possibilities for a new manager, and I'm very concerned about the fact that as the flies start dropping, that Ten Hag's name has come from a German outlet, and I'm not knocking Kicker, but they're not brilliant. They're not 8, 9 out of 10 brilliant. And I'd really like to see something in Der Telegraph, what is a Dutch publication. And that would give me a little bit more hope. Right now, I think the press have constructed a list, which makes sense, and that the reality of the situation is that things are happening external to Tottenham Hotspur, and they're watching the window, watching the world go by. The real problem is that I think, and it's not because I want it to be that way, but I think that the poison chalice of the job at Tottenham has, the genie's out of the bottle, out of the lamp, and the problem there is that you sack Pochettino, you sack Mourinho, and then you say, "Oh, it's okay. We're gonna recruit somebody else, and we just need 2 or 3 weeks," which is what they've put out to the boys that go to the Hotspur away thing, and I just don't see that to be the case. I think they're really high and dry, and I think the Redknaps, or the Redknapp, it's difficult to separate them these days, but Harry Redknapp got it really wrong. He came out and she said, "Oh yeah, I know that everyone tucks away, I'll get the old..." And you don't spend 4 hours or 2 hours or whatever it was firing somebody, and then let them fiddle around on the training pitches telling people what they think of them and giving them hints and tips. If you've got somebody lined up, you just throw them down the same sort of James Bond villain hatch that you did with all the others. So I've got a horrible feeling that Ryan Mason could be here for the pre-season. That might not be the case. I hope it isn't the case, because I don't think he's up to it. And the real question is, well, who is coming? And Southgate's name has been mentioned. I had a conversation with somebody the other day, and they reiterated that this is something that's been put out as this is the level that this is the level that we're looking at as a club. And anytime you get anything that comes out directly from the club, opposed to somebody who's witnessed something or overheard something, it comes out with a big disinformation warning on it. It's not because they're doing it deliberately, but it's just that they wish to be perceived in a certain manner. That would be their kind of benchmark that they put out, opposed to, we're talking to him on Friday. I'm struggling to see a solution to this. And I think it's going to come down to how people interview, in terms of they need somebody who's going to be a good boy, who's going to say, or promise not to say, "I need big money," and then is going to promise not to say, "Yeah, but I don't really want to play him," or "Why don't we sell that guy?" Because what Mourinho did was he said, "I'm not going to demand big money," but he refused to just roll along and play Dele Alli, for example. And Levy has formed for this. We discussed this with Jermaine Genius. His idea is that you put your arm around somebody and say to them, "Look, I've made a long-term investment with you here. You have our confidence. You have our respect. And, don't hesitate. My door's always open. Let's make a go of this." Which sounds great, and in principle is great, but the context of that greatness is that if you're doing it with a duff player who's more interested in bounty bars and growing different haircuts and things and finger tricks and all that other nonsense, it's a really, really bad idea. Speaking of really bad, Ten Hag was actually in De Telegraph this morning. I'm not sure if the article was a couple of days old. In fact, it was from the 21st, but the point is moot on the date. And he said that the Super League was disastrous. So, I'm struggling to see it, to be absolutely honest. I'm just looking at my notes, and I hate the way my eye line goes when I do that, but, social media boycott, absolute joke. If you want to get a really good take on racism, okay, put "it starts in the home" Denzel Washington into Google or into the YouTube field. He gives a really good synopsis, a really good understanding of the situation, of how you tackle the whole problem. And this business of the faux outrage and the wokeness. I mean, can you imagine it? That you're trying to kid people that are abhorrent, people that you don't like. You're trying to kid yourselves, that you're going to best them by deplatforming yourself temporarily. Wow. I'm so ashamed that I've done this to you. I'll stop being a racist. It isn't going to happen. So social media boycotting, whatever it is, absolutely worthless. And I'll say it again before I die. I don't need to have the awareness raised of anything. Climate change, people, in trouble in different places. Don't need the awareness. We're aware of just about everything these days. We're bombarded with so much information that it's difficult to imagine that we don't know anything. And the last thing is Caplehorn has gone. Have I spelled that? Yeah, Caplehorn. Yeah. So that's for the Tottenham Hotspur Supporters Trust to start leaping and squawking that there is now suddenly a vacancy on the club's board. Can't see it. I think it's nuts. The idea that private individuals who nobody voted for, whether they're paid or not, don't care. Whether they work really hard or not, don't care. Want to go up to a private business and say, really don't like what you're doing in respect of A, B and C, so we're going to take a seat on your board. That's nuts. That actually goes beyond when I was referring to them as Marxists. In fact, that's pure Marxism. So I think somebody needs to have a word with them before they get themselves into trouble. But yes, so all 6 European Super League clubs that wanted to be from the Premier League have, and so there was darkness. all six clubs have had CEOs of various, rank and whatever, step down today. So they've done something, but it is a little bit of a token gesture, I think. So the hunt for a manager goes on. I'm not sure about the Ten Hag connection at all. And the lights are going off at the end of the month for 3 days on social media. Good luck. Keep it on.